September 26, 2005. Ethiopia. The ground cracks open, 60 kilometers in 10 days. What should have taken 400 years happened in less than 2 weeks. 6,000 people evacuated. Ash blocks the sun for 3 days straight, and the woman who studied it said she'd never seen anything like it. 20 years later, that crack is still growing, and Africa's splitting into two continents faster than anyone predicted. The earthquake started September 9th. Small tremors near Dabahu volcano. Then they got stronger. By September 26th, over 130 earthquakes hit in hours. Some measured 4.2 on the Richter scale. At 1 p.m., people saw a dark column shoot into the sky, umbrella-shaped. Ash spread 500 meters from the vent. Villages 40 kilometers away reported ash falling like snow. The area stayed dark for nearly 3 days, but the eruption was just the surface show. Underground, a sheet of magma, called a dike, was forcing its way through the Earth's crust. Not slowly, fast. A 60-kilometer fissure opened, 8 meters wide in places, 10 days, 2.5 cubic kilometers of magma pushed through. That's 2 to 10 times larger than Iceland's biggest rift event in 1975, and 5 to 10 times larger than Djibouti's in 1978. The ground on both sides lifted 1.5 meters. The center dropped 2 meters, creating a trench you could walk into. Cynthia Ebinger, the geophysicist studying the site, left 2 hours before the September 26th eruption. When she came back, the desert had been ripped apart. She said something that stuck with everyone that day. "We never knew that a huge length of the ridge could break open at once like this." Why this breaks the rules? Now this is a big deal because tectonic plates move at 0.8 centimeters per year, less than half an inch. That's the rule. Slow, predictable, boring. The 2005 event threw out the rulebook. 4 centuries of continental drift compressed into 10 days, and then it kept going. June 2006. Another dike intrusion. By the end of 2007, 7 more dikes emplaced in the same area. 2009, a 14-kilometer crack opened, spewing lava. 2017, heavy rains exposed a 15-meter deep crevice. 2019 satellite images showed the rift widened 4 centimeters in 6 months. It's still opening. Right now, Ebinger's team discovered that magma can travel 60 kilometers underground in days without even erupting. We didn't know Earth could do that. We thought rifts grew slowly, steadily, millimeter by millimeter. Turns out they can jump fast. This isn't just Ethiopia's problem. It rewrites how we understand plate tectonics everywhere. Triple junction. The Dabahu Rift sits in the Afar Triangle, one of the strangest places on Earth. 3 tectonic plates meet here: the Nubian plate, the Somali plate, and the Arabian plate. 3 rifts pulling away from each other. The Arabian plate moves away from Africa at 1 inch per year. The Nubian and Somali plates separate at half an inch annually. It's called a triple junction. Very rare, violent, unpredictable. Christopher Moore, a researcher at the University of Leeds, put it simply: this is the only place on Earth where you can study how continental rift becomes an oceanic rift. Let me tell you why this matters. Normally, this process happens underwater at mid-ocean ridges. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge creates new ocean floor 2,000 meters below the surface. We can't see it, can't touch it, can't measure it in real time. In Afar, it's happening on land. We can walk on it, watch it, and what we're seeing is the birth of a new ocean. The volcanic processes beneath the Ethiopian rift are nearly identical to those at the bottom of the world's oceans. The rift is the beginning of a new sea. The Red Sea will flood in. Eventually, the Indian Ocean. Africa is tearing itself in two. Accelerating timeline. Yes, we all know for decades geologists said it would take tens of millions of years for a new ocean to form in East Africa. Then the number dropped, and dropped again. Ebinger cut the timeline to 1 million years, maybe half that. 500,000 years. Modern humans are only 300,000 years old. This ocean could form in less than twice our species' entire existence. What's speeding it up? Researchers discovered something pulsing beneath the rift. The mantle under Afar isn't stationary, it pulses. sort of like a heartbeat. Every pulse carries distinct chemical signatures. In places where the plates are thinner or pulling apart faster, those pulses move more efficiently. Tom Gurnan from the University of Southampton said it's like blood through a narrow artery, a beating heart of magma, 100 kilometers underground, pushing the plates apart. But wait, here's the uncomfortable part. Ken McDonald, a professor at UC Santa Barbara, asked the real question, and I asked the same one. Will this rifting continue at its present pace? Or might it speed up? Or might it stall out entirely? Nobody knows. The 2005 event proved rates can change overnight. Literally. What if another segment opens? What if it's bigger? At the current rate, a sea the size of the Red Sea could form in 20 to 30 million years. But 2005 showed us the current rate means nothing. What happens when it floods? When the rift continues? Not if, when. East Africa will split. That's the truth. The Horn of Africa will separate. Somalia, parts of Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania. A new island, a new continent drifting into the Indian Ocean. The Afar Depression will keep sinking. Parts of it are already below sea level. The Danakil Depression, one of the hottest places on Earth, sits 125 meters below sea level. It's only held back by a thin strip of land connecting it to the Red Sea. When that breaks, seawater rushes in. Uganda and Zambia, currently landlocked, could have ocean access. Coastlines will need to be redrawn, infrastructure rebuilt, land management overhauled. We're literally watching the birth of an ocean, and we still don't fully understand it. James Hammond from the University of Bristol told the BBC, "Eventually this will drift apart. The sea will flood in. Parts of southern Ethiopia, Somalia will drift off, create a new island, and we'll have a smaller Africa and a very big island that floats out into the Indian Ocean. Not in our lifetimes, but it's surely coming." Domino effect. So of course, that day in 2005 changed risk assessment. If rifts can jump centuries of movement in days, earthquake and volcanic hazards in East Africa are unpredictable in ways we didn't think possible. McDonald called it a breakthrough. For the first time, they demonstrate that activity on one rift segment can trigger a major episode of magma injection and associated deformation on a neighboring segment. Translation: one crack can trigger another. Domino effect. The entire 6,000-kilometer East African rift could activate in segments. And wait, before you go, there's more. In November 2025, scientists observed Earth's crust cracking apart beneath the Pacific Ocean. Off the coast of Vancouver Island, a section of oceanic crust is slowly breaking apart beneath the North American plate. Huge faults, deep cracks, a once solid tectonic structure falling to pieces from the inside. Earth's crust isn't as stable as we thought. Plates can fracture, split, reorganize. In the human life scale, you won't be seeing many changes. You'll be feeling earthquakes. You'll be seeing volcanoes erupt. But you won't see the ocean intrude in our lifetimes. But we'll see the cracks. We'll feel the tremors. And if something like 2005 happens again, if another 60-kilometer segment opens in days, we'll be reminded that Earth operates on its own timeline, not ours. September 26, 2005 was proof of it. Proof that continents can split faster than we predicted. Proof that oceans don't take 100 million years, they can start in 1 million, maybe less. Right now, the Dabahu Rift is still active, still widening, magma still moving underneath. Ebinger and her team are still there, still measuring, still waiting for the next big pulse. Because here's the thing they won't say out loud. Nobody knows when the next segment will open. Could be tomorrow, could be 10,000 years. But when it does, it'll be fast. Days, not centuries. And when the Red Sea finally breaks through, when seawater floods the Afar Depression, we'll witness something that hasn't happened on Earth in 200 million years. The birth of a new ocean, in real time, on land. The only question is, will we be ready? Now I want to hear from you. If a 60-kilometer crack opened in your backyard tomorrow, would you stay or evacuate? Be honest. Drop your answer below. Thanks for watching Earth's Dark Secrets. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us. Hit the bell so you never miss our next videos.